The man I married, I started dating in high school and dated all through college. And I spent a lot of time praying over that, even up to the last few months before we were married. I prayed, Lord, show me if I have misread anything. I love him, but show me. And if any part of it's not right, I'll turn and I'll walk away. And he didn't show me that. And I'm so grateful for the thing of him showing me, yes, this is a yes. Because every couple there's things that go wrong. Mercy, there's always financial things. There's a lot of things. I don't care how long you've dated, it's two new human beings learning to live together. And when you get ticked off, or when the other one's ticked off at you, you still know this was God. Man, work it out. Work it out in a godlike manner. And that helped. God had said yes, that it was the right thing. So you worked out whatever came along, and you worked it out God's way. So I have, all my life I will appreciate that one. He cared about us. He loved us. And 4 years into that marriage, we had our first son. And in coming back from the delivery room, I slid across the bed when I got off when they slid me off the stretcher. I just sort of slid and stepped off the other side of the bed and walked to the window of the hospital room. And there was a rock house with a rose garden that I just stood staring down in. The roses were beautiful, but that wasn't what I was looking at. I just stood staring at one yellow rose, but God showed me some of what he wanted for that little boy. That little boy was given to God way before he was ever born. And there were things that God wanted for him. There was a plan God had for his life. And God's directions needed to be followed in raising him. He was to be a man of God. He was to be a soldier, not of this earth, a soldier in God's kingdom. And he was a little baby, but he wasn't to be a wimp, a real soldier. And everything that God would tell him to do was not going to be popular. It was not going to be easy. And there was a way God wanted him raised, and we needed to follow directions. And this was another time when things get hard with kids one time or another. They just do. And you sat down and you said, all right, God, how does this one get handled? What do I need to do? What do you need me to do? And then 17 months later, another little boy came along. And thank God he gave me a vision for what he wanted for this one. And one of the most comforting things he told me in the midst of that, both of these will be my men. They will at some point in their life work together. That was one of the biggest promises I think God ever gave me. Now to this day, I've only seen them work part of the time together. But I know, as surely as I know I'm breathing, the time is coming very close for them to work full time together. Now, one's a pastor right now. One is an auditor, basically a black belt quality auditor, which I really don't know a whole lot about. That's what pays his bills to be a missionary. But at a point, they're going to be side by side working. And I see it coming closer. And it's very exciting. It's a promise that God gave me. And it's one of those others that, man, I feel so loved and so taken care of with the way God has still faithful. And the more he's faithful, the longer his track record gets, and the more you can trust him.